All right. Good day, everybody. Pierre Nadeau here from the Nadeau Real Estate Group and Exp Realty. I have the pleasure of being with a superstar from Sherbrooke, Quebec, which is really cool because that's where my parents are from. I've
Wow.
never lived there, but my parents are both from Sherbrooke and then moved to Ontario. But today I'm with Sacha De Santis, who is a rock star in his industry. Just partnered with us recently and sold, over 200 homes last year with his team. So we are super, super excited to have you here today. Thank you for joining us, Sacha.
Thank you very much, Pierre. It's a pleasure to join you guys. And yeah, that's nice that your parents come from, Sherbrooke. It's a nice place.
Yeah, yeah. We used to visit all the time, but
Wow.
as people get older, we don't see family as much as we should. But anyway, super nice to have you here. Listen, let's dive right into this. Tell me a little bit about your background, how you got into real estate. What does your real estate? How did you start off, and give us that little progression of how things got to 200 deals a year, right? Like, I'm sure everybody's excited to hear what how do you get to 200 deals a year?
Yeah, it was not an easy path. I started at 18 years old,
Wow.
no contacts, nothing, but that was my way. So what I did is, do you still hear me, Pierre?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So let me just cut that. I just had a call. So yeah,
Yeah.
busy day, busy brokers. So as I was saying, yeah, 18 years old, I started the business. I had no contacts, no nothing, no coaching. It was a hard time in 2012. No team wanted me because, in 2012, teams were not the,
No.
popular, right?
Yeah.
So that was hard, until the COVID. When the COVID started, we had two choices. So either you were not doing anything, or you just try to make calls, help people. So I made over 1,000 calls, called people, let them know I'm available and everything. And my business kind of like grew, and at the point was like 10 times better than when I started. So, and now I have 7 other brokers that work with me. So I'm pretty, God bless.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, okay? Because yesterday I did a training with somebody who's a mentor of mine, and the training was called Back to Basics. And you just said something about 1,000 calls. Okay. So for the people that are out there, because during COVID, the people that got in during COVID, it was easy to sell a house. You put a for sale sign up, you didn't even have to be able to speak, you could just sell a house, right?
For sure. Exactly.
Now it's a little bit different. So who are you calling? Like, who are those calls to?
So I called all the people that I know, my family first for sure, like, can I help them? The past clients as well, hey, how can I help you? It's been like 5 years. I sold, your home, I just wanted to know, are you alive? Because was the COVID.
Yeah.
People were dying. So
Yeah.
are you alive? Can I help you in some ways? Even, people that were, selling by themselves. I just call them, I just wanted to look on you. You have any questions on the market, And eventually they called me back and said, hey, you know what? We want to list with you, So
Yeah.
this year, that year, I think in 2020, the year of the pandemic, I was alone and I sold like 125 homes alone, So
Wow.
yeah, I worked a lot, but I was able to, take the time of that time to build some relation. But now it's different times, different, after the pandemic, but there's a lot of things to do. And, when I saw EXP and all of the stuff, I said, yeah, I need to take that opportunity.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think that I mean, I've been doing this for 21 years. So, we didn't have lead gen, we didn't have leads coming in on the internet. I mean, it was all work, it was all open houses, it was all going out to events and meeting people and talking and socializing. So for me, picking up a phone is normal, right? I know
Yeah.
that there's a lot of younger agents that are coming into the business that they think they're working at a car lot and they think their phone's just going to ring and people are just going to walk in. Well, it doesn't work
Oh
like
yeah.
you got to go out and
No, no, no.
find the business, right?
Exactly. It's not all, like click funnel, it's you need to go out and, people won't come at you like normally because even especially when you start, there's like 17,000 brokers in Quebec. So why would it be you? Why you? You know, so you need to you know be out there and be different because the people they need something different, especially the 2023 market. You need to be really you know like somewhere else. You know.
Yeah. Just so everybody knows, right? To do the volume that you're doing, okay, even when you were on your own and doing over 100 transactions, you were like in the top 1%, probably in the top 0.5% of all Canadian realtors, okay? But the difference is you're doing the work, you're making the calls, you're doing what it needs to be done, right? Whereas most people aren't willing to do those things, okay? So, okay, let's back up because we love to talk about teams. How did you build your team? How did things still, what was your first hire? When did you realize you needed a team, and then what was your first hire?
So back in 2021, I think at the beginning of the year, I had so many leads, you know, coming because of my calls, of my listings, you know. So I said, okay, now I need someone to help me so I can help him, you know, become a better broker. So at this time, I had a lot of lead generation coming from my listings, my sold, you know,
Yeah,
everything. So this is the point where I said, you know, I kind of need a team, you know, but there's never like a good timing, right, to start a team. It's not like, okay, after this sale, you're going to start a team. No, it just needs to be, and then you're going to work on your team afterward. And there's no like magical recipe for
yeah.
a team. I think you know that. So, but yeah, there's a timing that's one day you're going to say, okay, now it's the time to you know help other brokers as well with your team and with my structure, and that's what I did.
Yeah. I think a lot of agents think that they need a team, and sometimes it becomes an ego thing. I'm going to build a
Yeah,
team, right? But first thing I say to them is, first of all, how many transactions are you doing? Right? Because I've
yeah,
had people saying they're doing 20 transactions and they're ready to build a team. Like, you know what? You're probably not ready to build a team because you can
no,
handle 20 transactions on your own, right?
yeah, yeah,
So, and then the other thing is too, like when you bring on agents on your team, you have a responsibility to help
yeah,
those people and work it. So I think a lot of people don't realize that having a team is a whole other business. It's another
yeah,
stream of income, but it is a whole other business. And you better be ready to lead those people, help them, coach them, and then, and then help them grow their organizations as well. I know for me, I was doing quite a few transactions and I was just stressed. I was tired. My clients kept saying to me, "You look tired." And I'm like, really, really? And I'm just running on adrenaline, right? But then finally I hired an assistant. And,
yeah,
and I remember I didn't want an assistant because I was so afraid that she wouldn't do it as good as I was doing it. But what I found out was she was better than me. And my
yeah.
business the next year doubled. And I was
Wow.
like, okay, now I have a whole other problem. Now I
Yeah,
can't handle it, right? So
and that's great because you gotta you gotta roll with the the punches. It's like, okay, so another problem comes up because you set up another one. So but it's all right, it's part of the game. But for sure, like, yeah, like you said, 20 transaction is it's not enough. You
yeah,
kind of need that point that the people say, okay, this guy, or this person, he's known in the area, and whatever he's switching, agency or what, he still has some nice visibility around.
yeah,
So that's maybe the point that you say, okay, do people know me? Yeah, okay, maybe time to start grow business. But I don't think you need to build a team on just saying that you're gonna send them leads, because the day that there's not gonna be any leads or less, they're not going to be happy, So I think the team needs to be built on something different, trust, that you're always there to help them, you're always there, you're always relevant. This is, I think, a better way to shape a team than to say, okay, here's how many leads you're going to get and everything, because the day that is not going to happen, they're going to just leave. And you don't
yeah.
want agents to leave. You want agents to stay, and year after year, so that's important for them as well.
And that's a whole other podcast on retention, right? How do we retain people? Because
Yeah,
what I found when I was building my team, I get them up to 150,000 a year, and then they go work somewhere else because now they learned from me. They took all my tricks, everything I taught them, and they would leave. And even though they were friends and they would come over to our house for dinner and everything else, they would still leave because it was about them and their family and what's left in their pockets. So it's finding that
Exactly.
balance that keeps everybody happy, right? So let me ask you this: what does your team look like? Like, how many admin staff do you have? How many
Yeah.
agents? Do they do just buying or selling, or do they do it all? What's it look like?
So I would say I have a small team, because we have two full-time assistant, So we have two stagers. We home stage all our homes. I think it's a great way to sell homes faster and better. So we have two full-time stagers as well, two photographers for the team, and seven other brokers. So
Okay.
at total, we around 15 people that are just working for the team. It's a nice, amount for here in Mega. It's not a big city. We're 25,000 people. But the lake around here, it's the lake that sells the highest for a foot on the water. So
Yeah.
it's a nice place to be. But for sure, I don't think I could be 100, brokers in my team here.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll see. But for now, I think for like 7 brokers, 8 brokers, two full-time assistant is the best,
Yeah.
because more than that, when there's going to be any shortage, you don't want her to do nothing. But just one when there's a lot of listing coming in. Let's say this month we have like 25 new listings. So of course she cannot do that plus everything. So
Yeah.
I guess two is a great number when you're around 10
Yeah.
brokers.
You know why else two is a great number? I found that
Yeah.
the hard way. Because you only have one and they leave,
Yeah.
it's a gong show.
Oh my God. I don't even want to talk about it because wow, that
Yeah,
could be, yeah.
yeah. And it happened to me when I had my own brokerage, right? One of those agents that I was telling you about that was doing 20 transactions a year. Well, not only did
Yeah.
he want to start his own team, he went and started his own independent brokerage. So he's doing 20
Oh,
deals a year, making 100 grand, and he says, I'm going to go start my own brokerage. So he goes and gets a building. He takes my admin staff,
no
he
way.
takes my inside sales manager and 3 of my agents with him overnight, gone. Right. So,
Bye.
and my admin staff that was running my office, she had been with me for 7 years. Okay.
No way.
We were friends. We knew our families knew each other. We hung out with each other and gone just like that. Okay. So luckily, my son at the time and my marketing guy, they stepped up to the plate and they helped out. But one thing that I learned is that I will never be held hostage again. Right. So
Yeah.
now what we did was we created systems and we put systems in place so that if somebody leaves tomorrow, or I always use the analogy, if somebody ever gets hit by a bus, which means they get fired or they leave. Well, now all
Yeah.
of a sudden, I can put somebody in the place the next day, and we have systems in place that they can, just step in, and within a week, we're up and running and ready to go again. But we have a whole
Yeah.
other formula too. Now that we're with EXP, I don't have to worry about all the back end stuff and the money and the
Yeah.
accounting and everything else. So that's the
Yeah.
thing, right? So, all right,
For sure.
what advice do you have for somebody who's, maybe they're doing 30, 40, 50 deals a year and they're thinking, okay, I need to leverage myself. I need some help. What would be your advice with somebody getting started for a team?
All right. So you need to offer more than just a regular broker, right? Because if you are already at 40, 50 transaction, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's better than, like, I would say 90% of the brokers. So you're
Yeah.
doing a great job. But if you want to do a better job, even better than that, you need to surround yourself with, winners and people that are gonna help you get a better
Yeah.
power rate. You need to, like, get up your hour rate. So
Yeah.
the way to do that,
I love that.
yeah, your assistant is, you need an assistant. I see brokers sometimes with 40 transaction, 50 transaction, no assistant. What are you doing?
Yeah.
All this amount that it's not going to cost you anything. You're going to get it and you're going to put it back to her. So
Yeah.
anyway, so for sure you need an assistant to get more than, that. And it's all about the mindset as well,
Yeah.
because when you're at 40, 50 transaction, it's already a lot of stuff in your mind. So you need to be out there saying, no, I won't stop. This is the 6th round. We need to go past 10 rounds. If we need to continue, we need that mindset. So surround yourself with a coach, I think. do a lot of coaching sessions. I think this is the best thing because every day, you know, after 60, 75 transactions, you're like, okay, I don't really care about another one, but no, you need to help more people. So if
Yeah.
you want to stay with that mindset, you're going to be all right to get to 100 or more than that.
Yeah, I mean, leverage is a big thing. One of the key points that you just said, though, was surround yourself with the right people, right? And, you know, I found that when I had my own brokerage, I was the people. Like, you know, the agents were surrounding themselves around me, but I had nobody that I was surrounding myself with to get me to that next level. And you know what? We kind of got complacent and kind of got comfortable. But then, you know, when I met some of the guys that I'm partnered with now, like Al Stasic and Jay Kinder at EXP, you know, my goal, I always had a coach, and I 100% believe in coaching, but I always had a coach. And the thing was, you know, the coaching part, you know, I'm paying $40,000-$50,000 a year. I was paying $20,000 a year to be a part of a mastermind group. But when I got around these guys that I'm partnered with now, you know, they were doing 500 deals a year. I was doing 300. I was trying to figure out, how do I get the 500? How do I get the 500? Well, Jay Kinder says, you partner with me and I will teach you and coach you on how to get the 500. 18 months later, we did 550 transactions because
Wow.
of the model and because of the coaching that we got. But not only that, these guys pushed me to get to that next level, right? Jay Kinder just bought a freaking jet, right? I'm a little bit motivated. I'm a little bit motivated, right? To get to where these guys are at, right? Because I'll tell you what, the first mastermind group I went to with these guys, there was 100 agents in the room. I'm doing 300 deals. I think I'm a pretty big deal. And everybody's talking. Everybody's, you know, telling what their transactions are. There was guys doing 700, 1,000, 1,200 transactions a year. I was embarrassed to stand up and say my numbers at the time, right? And I'm like,
wow.
okay, I've got some growing to do, right? So, all right. Okay, so listen, this is awesome. So now, you know, I met with you. God, it was probably just before Christmas, 2022.
Yeah.
We had a meeting in
Yeah.
Montreal. You know, went okay. You know, you knew you liked what we were doing, but you were unsure.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was just it's mind-boggling, right? And then you did a lot of research, right? So, you know, you did not take making this move lightly, and it wasn't an overnight thing. And you did a lot of thinking, a lot of math, a lot of everything else. Tell everybody why is it that you decided to make the move? I mean, you're already doing good. You told me you were happy where you were before at the Remax that you were at. You said you loved your brokerage, and so there's no pain point there. But why did you decide to make a move all of a sudden?
That's a great question. So there's not just one thing. There's a lot of things, you know. But for sure, it took me around 3 months, 4 months to make my decision. You know, and it's always the same thing. You know, when you think about something, you wish you would have done it sooner. You know, but you know that's the way of life. You know, you need to, you know, like walk the way. You know, so I did that firstly because we were first in Remax in all the Eastern townships in Quebec.
Nice.
And I was comfortable, you know, but in business, it's not a good thing always to be comfortable. You know, when you're comfortable, it's because you're not making a big move, you know, so you gotta do that. The uncomfortable is where you grow up. So that was my point as well. And I saw all, you know, the opportunities with EXP. You know, you're selling homes, but you still have this revenue share. You still have the access to the you know, the it's an open company, so you can invest in everything. So there were so many stuff, the EXP world as well, and the community we have. I mean, it's just, you know, it makes sense for like everyone, you know, that is broker here. Now I see it, but you know, it takes some time, and everyone, you know, trust the process is always what I say. But I think that the sooner the better.
Yeah. You know what? When I saw it, I mean, I was an owner, right? And I just looked at it out of curiosity because I thought I was doing okay, right? But when I saw it, it actually made me really nervous because I was like, this is crazy. And then about 2 or 3 weeks after I saw it, we went to a conference down east, and I think it was Nova Scotia or whatever. And this conference was there was about 250 independent brokers across Canada that came to this conference. We were part of this group, and it was a 3-day conference. And guess what they talked about 60% of the time for 3 days? They talked about EXP Realty and the disruption in the market, and what's going on and what's happening. And I remember sitting there with my son going, holy crap, we got to do this because everybody's talking about it. Everybody knows it's coming and they're all afraid of it. Right. And I knew as an independent brokerage, I couldn't compete, but I also knew that the Remaxes and Royal LePages of the world in my town, they couldn't compete at all either because they weren't offering stocks to their agents. It wasn't an agent owned company. They weren't giving out, sharing part of the income with the agent. And you know what? It's actually life changing, right? And I know you're new, but over the last 3.5 years for me, we've added over 600 partners to our RevShare group. We've I
Wow.
to buy 3 rental properties in Arizona. I live in Arizona in the wintertime now because
Wow.
of this model, right? And
Incredible.
it's and I didn't get into EXP for more time, or sorry, for more money, because we were already making good money. I got
Yeah.
it for more time. I was getting tired of working 80, 90 hours a week, right? And now I have the time to do the things that I want to do with my family. And the best
Wow.
part is I get to partner with guys like you that are powerhouses that are, we all have the same vision, the same mindset. And now I know that I can help you get to that level too, if you're just willing to follow the program, right? And that's what's the best part about this is the people we're in business with.
That is insane. And now it makes sense, but it wasn't the norm before. It didn't exist. So of course, if you don't have to, you cannot compare some stuff with others. You cannot compare, right? But now that it's there, I mean, everything else becomes pretty much irrelevant in my point of view, right?
Yeah.
I mean, as an agent, what do you want? You want money? Okay, we have money. We're making nice, living, but you want more time, like you said, and you want to be surrounded by people that wants your success for real.
Yeah.
So that's what I think is
I
that
don't
made
know
me
about
say,
you in Quebec, but when in Ontario, when I worked for, the big box company, I had a lot of friends within the company, but I'll tell you what, they weren't there to help me. We were not like we were competitors, right? And
pretty much,
yeah,
yeah,
and now the difference is we're all financially aligned to help each other
yeah.
grow, right? So now we're willing to share our playbooks with everybody within the company, and you share your ideas with me, I share them with you, and we all work together as one big team. And like Jake Kinder says, one big fire. We're taking all our small fires and making one big fire, right?
And you know what I get more, Pierre, is people say, when they're not aligned with that, they say, oh, it's a pyramid. So
Yeah,
what I respond is that everything is a pyramid.
yeah,
You're just not in the pyramid. So
yeah,
it's either you are or either you're not in. So just choose.
yeah.
So that's it. So it makes sense. And I think everyone's going to see the more that we go, with the people, with the big brokers that are coming in, it's starting to make sense. So
Yeah.
that's why I think everything every day we grow up, and every day they're gonna see maybe it's the new model that needs to be up there.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're the fastest growing real estate company in history for a reason, right? And I
Yeah,
think that our growth has gone through the roof. And I think because agents are realizing that, hey, there is a way for me to be more profitable. Because you know what? It's great to do all these transactions. Man, I'll tell you a story. My
yeah.
biggest year ever, I made 3.2 million in commissions. Guess what my
Wow.
profit was? 250,000 was my profit.
Yeah,
Okay. That's a problem, right? The,
yeah,
the typical team and independent brokerage model is broken. And
yeah,
it's not like when I look at that, so now I don't care how many transactions I do. I care what's left in my pocket at the end of the day and how hard
yeah.
I work to get that. Right. So that's the cool thing about that. Anyways, listen, man, this was awesome. I know you're a busy guy, you're super busy, you got lots of stuff going on. I so appreciate you being here. I appreciate you being in business with us. And I look forward to helping you guys and working with you guys and doing. If anybody is in the Quebec area and they want to reach out to Sacha, he's got it figured out. He's doing big things, and you need to reach out to this guy and at least ask the questions. Look at the model, and if it's for you, great. We'll continue the conversations. If it's not for you, then that's okay too. At least you'll know why we're the fastest growing real estate company in history. And Sasha's your man to explain it to you.
Hey, thanks, Pierre. Thanks for your time. And yeah, I hope everyone success this year. You know, it's going to be a challenging year so far, you know, but I think it's going to be good. You know, just
Yep.
work hard and do your stuff and get surrounded by good people. And for sure, you know, in these times, companies like EXP, you know, with this kind of model is going to help you at the end of the day.
You know what? I'm actually, people ask me about this market, and I'm like, I'm so excited about this market right now. And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because I know there's a lot of agents that are not willing to do what I'm willing to do. And I know that I have the habits and I've created habits just like you created habits. So guys like you, like I had a guy when I first started in real estate, he said this, and I've never forgotten 21 years ago. He said, in a good market, you know, agents will make, you know, good agents will make a lot of money. In a bad market, good agents will make a ton of money because
Wow.
they have the habits to get them to where they need to get to.
I
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're doing it, man. You're killing it, and appreciate you. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much, Pierre. Take